Okay, reading update on Doctor Who this time. I've started reading the old BBC Eighth Doctor Adventures, which is not to be confused with the Virgin New Adventures, which is more so focused on the Seventh Doctor, although one of them does happen after the Eighth Doctor regeneration. So, quick recap on the first couple I've read, and then on the one I just finished. The Eighth Doctor adventures start with the Eight Doctors. Fittingly, it happens like right after the TV movie, and is a big ol' multi-doctor adventure, and it's just fun seeing all the various doctors bounce off each other, as is the appeal for any of the big anniversary specials or anything. And it also sets up a new companion and slightly retcons a few things that maybe they thought after the TV movie came out, yeah, we'll sidestep a couple of these less popular introductions. And yeah, that one was just a fun time. Then you have The Dying Days, which I think comes somewhere after that, which is the Virgin New Adventures, like the last of those that happens. And I think kind of runs into a lot the problems I have with a lot of those, in that it's technically well written. It just, to me at least, doesn't feel like Doctor Who when they're trying to be so edgy. And overall has a good solid story. I do like the character of Bernice. Um, I've, when she pops up in the books or in the Big Finish stuff, it's fun. I like her. As typically the companions can be young, inexperienced people, but she's more established. She's at like the height of her archaeology career. She's got her own time traveling means. Anyway, so it's more of like a companion piece for the Doctor Who kind of stuff, more mainline. And that one is about ice warriors invading the Earth and how the Eighth Doctor handles that. And they do allude to some things at the end. It's like, well, now you're just being ridiculous. You're just seeing what you can get away with in this kids TV show kind of setting. And that kind of thing just bugs me, because it's like consistency, verisimilitude, and like I understand you want to evolve the characters and storylines like that. And I feel like there's still certain things is like, but that's not the vibe. That's not the assignment. What are we doing here? But that's just me. I understand a lot of people have deep nostalgia for that era. But in the next of the Eighth Doctor adventures that comes after that, the second book is Vampire Science, which unsurprisingly deals with vampires and their ancient struggle with the Time Lords. And the current story is that the vampires are on Earth, and there's a whole coven doing their thing, and the Doctor is doing everything he possibly can to try to bring about peaceful solutions and coexistence, putting his life on the line as collateral. And it's like, yes, okay, good. The Doctor's here, being the Doctor in this really difficult situation. Love it, no notes. And I honestly really don't just generally appreciate vampire stories that much. It's just not really my thing. But I thought they did a really good job of balancing that in the context of Doctor Who, where you have the vampires being so bleak and nihilistic and purely about survival for its own sake, and the Doctor is countering with no, life, hope, and like him coming from a place of deep conviction in just the belief of good. So, yes, that's what I want out of my Doctor Who stories. Then, the one I just finished, The Bodysnatchers by Mark Morris. I overall like the story. It's set in Victorian England. You get to see Lightfoot again, of Jago and Lightfoot fame from Talons of Wen-Chiang, which, yes, I know. But I do like that character, and overall the story is enjoyable. It's Zygons trying to set up a society on Earth and not really caring who they hurt in the process. Being shapeshifters, that all comes into play. This is another instance, I think, of really slipping into that. How edgy can we get? And it's I was skimming a bit by the end, because it's okay. At this point, you're just describing all these grisly scenes, and I don't know that it's serving any purpose narratively beyond dragging out the ending. And yeah, I think it at that point, to me, it almost feels like the grimdark, just reveling in the, look how dark everything is, and how all these innocent people are being slaughtered. And it's Doctor Who, what are we doing? But again, that's my take. But it's also a case of, I do appreciate that they make an interesting narrative choice, and that the Doctor is still trying to do everything he can to bring about a peaceful solution to the problem at hand. And he thinks he has found a solution, and spoiler alert, it goes very poorly, and it's all on him what happens from that point forward, because he messed up. The problem is, I don't think it really explores that very well, because he seems distraught that these bad things are happening, but I don't think it's really communicated very well that it's because of you messed up. And I think it's important, especially for a Doctor Who sort of story, where you have your hero believing that they know best, and maybe they don't in this instance, or maybe they just overlooked something, and people pay the price. And I think that needed to hit harder. But overall, still enjoyed the story. It's just at the points where it's, and then horrible gruesomeness. It's like, okay. I don't think this feels very in tune with the spirit of the overall franchise. But yeah, still enjoy the new companion, Sam. I have a suspicion on a few things, like they dropped some hints about how her story might progress. Anyway, I'm still interested in exploring this line of books further. The Eighth Doctor is unironically, if not my absolute favorite Doctor, a favorite, like top 3 on the tier of Tom Baker, David Tennant. I think he's up there, and that is in large part due to Paul McGann's performance. Somewhat in the TV movie, he was very likable there, just in not a very good story. But most specifically in the Big Finish stuff, where they do the audio story productions and like full voice cast and everything, and it, to me at least, feels like watching the show of this lost era of all these stories we didn't get on TV from Paul McGann. And he's so good. And I mean that in terms of his performance, but also just with the characterization he brings to the Eighth Doctor. He's just such a good guy, and that's what I want out of Doctor Who. That's what I'm here for, is to see somebody struggling against all odds to do the right thing, even if they end up paying the price or messing up and bearing whatever burden falls on them. I think that's important in storytelling overall, seeing the struggle of whatever hero is in the story. Yeah, I think that's something I'll always want to go back and revisit is his Big Finish stories, which they're still making. Not all of them great, but far more hits than misses. And so yeah, if you haven't checked those out, definitely recommend. They have a bunch of other Doctor stories as well, and a lot of them are just so much fun. So if your takeaway is nothing else, take that. And happy reading, happy listening, however you wish to consume your Who.